Okay, two things before we start. This type of investing is not for the faint-hearted and should not be taken lightly. And number two, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do it now before we begin. Now that during the little intro bit you have subscribed to the channel, which hopefully you have done. If you haven't, do it now quickly, and like the video while you're down there. Helps to push out the content and the channel to YouTube and helps with the algorithm. We're going to go through something that I don't normally talk about on this channel. This is a dividend investing channel primarily, and an overview of the portfolios I've got, focused very much on dividend income. But I'm going to be talking about a SPAC today, and a SPAC that's been getting quite a lot of interest and hype on the internet, on YouTube and things like that. So I thought I'd take a look into it myself. I am building a high growth, high risk speculative portfolio, and this is the very type of thing that I would be putting into it. A SPAC, in case you don't know, is an acronym. It stands for a special purchase acquisition company. Essentially, in some ways, they're venture capitalists. They will acquire companies to bring them to market, to make them public. The SPAC we're going to look at today is Churchill Capital, ticker symbol CCIV. And we're going to look at the rumours of them potentially taking Lucid Motors public. Now, they're just rumours at the moment. It's just speculation at the moment. But there's a couple of bits that I've looked into and I've seen from other YouTube videos and then looked into myself that kind of link the two, link Churchill Capital and Lucid Motors. That gives us good probability that they will be at some point looking to take the company public. I think there's quite clearly been rumours flying around of it, and that has caused Churchill's stock price to increase by about 80% from its most recent kind of $10-ish up to about 18 or so. So we'll jump into the computer. We've got a couple of articles to have a look at and a couple of links between the two companies to look at. Bit of information about Lucid Motors itself, and I've been on Lucid Motors website. I'm going to show you the product if you haven't seen it already. I'm sure you have, but actually I've gone in and kind of designed. There's not a lot you can change on it, but design my own. I actually think it looks like an incredible product. So if indeed Churchill do take this company public, I think it could do very well. At the end of the video, I'll give you my thoughts on what I'm looking to do, whether I'm going to be purchasing any of CCIV, whether I will be getting it into my high risk portfolio or not. So as I said, there's a couple of things that just tie the two companies together. So we'll jump in there, we'll grab some articles and run you through them. Right, one of the first places to start, I guess, is the website. So gives you a good sort of idea of the company, I guess, from a start, and a brief overview of the details involved in the company and what they're selling and things like that. So as I think I said out there, I really love the look of the car. Really love the look of the actual product itself, and I certainly think it looks a bit more like a normal car than the Teslas, and I quite like that. So I really love the look of it. You know, we've got a fantastic looking website here, the world's most advanced EV technology. You know, it looks like they've got everything going for them. They're into the charging points as well, ultra fast charging points nationwide. So it's all looking pretty good kind of in the first instance. But let's get into the articles that you kind of want to see. So number one is quite simply on Bloomberg. We've got Lucid Motors is in talks to list by Michael Klein SPAC. Now the Michael Klein SPAC, as I said, is Churchill Capital. So we've got a quite compelling article outlining the rumours. It's, you know, in talks. More often than not, when it's reported like that, it generally happens. So that's number one, and there's loads of articles or reports to say that Michael Klein SPAC is in talks to take Lucid public. So that's number one. We've got some quite clear articles kind of outlining the rumours. One of the things to look at that I've sort of found out here, not necessarily myself, but through other sort of YouTube videos I've watched on this and then looked into it and had a look at it myself. The link between the two companies, so Churchill Capital and Lucid Motors, have got a link. So if we go into the team and we go into operating partners in Churchill Capital, we have a gentleman by the name of Andrew Leveris. Now, Andrew Leveris is very well experienced. If I just highlight this, Mr. Leveris serves on the board of directors for Saudi Aramco, IBM, and Novanix, whatever that is. So he's on the board of directors for a few pretty serious companies anyway, and he is heavily involved in Churchill Capital. Now, if we have a look at Lucid Motors, and we have a look at the board of directors. He is the chairman of the Lucid board of directors. So we've got a pretty strong link. There. Andrew Leveris is involved heavily in both the companies. So that kind of steers you a bit more towards that link, and that the rumours probably being true, and it being just a bit more likely to happen. Now this is something I got from my YouTube channel, and I'll try and link the channel up there if I can find it or remember which one it was. But if you go onto Glassdoor, we've got Lucid Motors as a company. We're having a hiring surge, as you can see there. Now, I've searched this. We have an SEC reporting manager role that was posted 11 days ago that needs to be filled. Now, the reason you need an SEC reporting manager role filled is if it was a public company. A company can only be public if it has this position filled, which suggests that they want to become a public company. They're looking for a SPAC, they're looking for someone to take them public, and the links are there, the rumours are there. There's no reason why we shouldn't be believing it. For me, that's quite compelling. For me, the link between the board of directors here, Andrew Leveris, and the operating partners in the form of Andrew Leveris, big link there, and they're the two sort of main reasons, along with the quite clear rumours that I think that it's pretty likely to happen. Now, what's to say if they took this company public, it would do very well. It could not. It could be a terrible company, and it could fall flat on its face once you bought it, in which case it's not worth the investment. However, I'm getting the feeling it's probably going to do quite well. So one of the things is this gentleman, who is their CEO, recently appointed in 2019. This chap was appointed the CEO. Now, you may recognise him. Some people might recognise the name, Peter Rawlinson. He has held plenty of jobs in the automotive industry in the UK, so he's very well experienced. But after joining Tesla in 2009, Rawlinson served as Vice President of Vehicle Engineering and Chief Engineer of the Tesla Model S. In this role, Rawlinson was responsible for the technical execution and delivery of the Model S, improving structure and production by taking advantage of the fuel restrictions facilitated by electric vehicle drivetrain in 3 years' time. Anyway, that bit you don't need to know, that's boring as anything. But the fact is, this gentleman, who is now the CEO of Lucid Motors, was the chief engineer for the Tesla Model S. So we've got a CEO in Lucid Motors who's got a wealth of experience, not only in the motor industry, but some very good experience with EVs as well. So that's obviously good. We've got another little article here. So Lucid Motors closes $1 billion investment from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. So there was talk in this other YouTube video that the Saudis are starting to hedge against oil production. They are petrol heads through and through. They love their cars, they love their motors, but oil is becoming scarce, hard to come by, and it looks as though the Saudis are starting to hedge, and they start to invest quite heavily in electric vehicles. Now, $1 billion investment in Lucid Motors, that's allowed them to start production of their production plant, their factories, which is great. And this company, Lucid Motors, is ready to start spending. They can throw that into research and development, they can throw it into the production of the cars, and they've obviously started throwing it into the building of the plants, of the factories. So this is one of the factories here, Lucid Motors factory. After evaluating over 60 sites in 13 states for Lucid Motors factories, we chose a 500-acre property, which is great. So it does say here, this facility is the first greenfield or purpose-built EV factory in North America. Very vague, it must be true because they put it on their website. So they're suggesting that the factory will have the initial capacity to produce 10,000 cars a year and over 300,000 annually, with planned expansion. And this is it. So they're not mucking around. They're showing you exactly what's going on via a nice little video there of the production of the factory. So things are in motion. This is happening. You know, they're promising these cars, but they're delivering on their promise of these cars, and they're actually spending the money on doing things like this. And they said that this would have been ready from breaking the ground to first production of cars and operating in 12 months. So I'm on the website here, and one little thing I did on the website is actually, again, I started just looking at the products themselves. I'll be honest, the website is not all that easy to use in terms of building a car and the spec and things. It's a bit jittery, but this is one of the cars. This is one of the more expensive ones. I'm trying to get an overview at the moment, and it's just not having it. So this is it next to the Golden Gate Golden Gate Bridge. But I think it's a great looking car. I just, you know, it's something that I probably would not be adverse to driving. I'm an Audi man myself. I drive an A5, an S5, and I genuinely think, even though it's quite old now, it's one of the best looking cars on the road. Still is. I just, like, without a doubt. That's my opinion. And I just really like the look of this. I think it's a great looking car. So if you get a chance, have a look at the website and start building your own. You've got these options down the side here, and you can start building a car and looking at the spec. You can open doors, and I don't know. It's all a bit of a gimmick, but. And we can have a little look inside as well. So here we are, we've got a little cubby hole here that you can take out the screen or whatever. We've got, assuming that'll open the door. But anyway, so the inside looks pretty good as well. So it's always important to look at the product that they're offering as well. So this is one of the more expensive ones. So let's have a look at some of the tech figures as well. So for this one on screen here, we've got some figures down here which are quite astonishing. Max horsepower up to 1,080. You don't need that, that's just too much. Projected miles 507, which is incredible. I think a lot of the Tesla models were boasting 400 not too long ago. I don't know what they're up to, what they're doing now, but they were boasting 400 mile range, 517. Obviously, not if you're using all 1,080 horsepower. You'd probably get about 20 mile range, but minutes to charge for 300 miles, 20. Don't know if that's any good or not, but it doesn't seem too bad. Certainly if you're going to be doing things overnight, which is typically where you'd probably charge your cars. Standing quarter in 9.9 under 10, ridiculous. And 0 to 60 in 2.5. You don't need a car that quick. And that's everything in one go. That's all the torque straight away. That one I was looking at a second ago was the most expensive, $170,000. But we got one that's still would be considered a luxury vehicle in how expensive it is, but $70,000, producing 480 brake horsepower. Now that's again, I'll tell you that is more than enough. I used to have 480 brake horsepower in my performance pack, first generation C63 W204 engine, the 6.2 litre, and that was almost uncontrollable. 480 is more than enough, and even at that, we got a 400 mile range, which is amazing. So let's have a little look at the website and the product itself. I think it's important to have a look at the product if it's something you're going to be looking to get into, and look at it and go, is that something I would buy? Is it something I would use? Does it look like a good quality product? Is it competitive with its competitors? Is it as good? And for a $70,000 car producing that much power with that much range, yeah, I certainly think it is, and I think it looks fantastic. Another thing with Lucid as well is they're similar to Tesla in the sense that they're bypassing showrooms and dealerships completely. So no middleman, no dealerships to get in the way and to create more overheads and things like that. So hopefully more money into R&D, into research, and invested back into the company, and hopefully back into the product as well, very much like Tesla. Just another little thing that kind of is quite nice about the company, and they're sort of taking a leaf out of Tesla's book. We've got the Tesla chief engineer for the Model S involved as the CEO, which is great. So I just think this company is going to be, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be going places. I think they'll do very well when they go public, and it looks like they're absolutely on track in their mission to get the cars out. The factories are being built, and I don't think it'll be too long before we start seeing some Lucid Motors, the Lucid Air on the road. And I think it looks like a great product. So as well as Tesla, I will be backing this SPAC. They'll be taking it to market, and I think they're going to do really well. And I think this year we'll hear more and more news about it. They'll announce it, and I think that share price of $18, it's grown in the last 5 days, 82%. That's just on rumours and things. I think once it's announced and it starts happening, I think there's certainly more growth. Can we get the above 12, the 15, 20 or more % out of this over the course of this year? This is the year for growth for EVs over the next few years. They're taking an EV company to market. It's jumped that much just on rumours, so when it actually happens and it's announced, I think we'll definitely see that back. Yes, so I'm going to be backing it. So Lucid Motors looks pretty good. I like the look of the product, and I think there's some key links between Churchill Capital and Lucid Motors. I think it's probably going to happen at some point, whether it's in the next couple of weeks or a few months or in this year at some point, and it's obviously going to have an effect on the share price. I can reveal now I will be buying into these. It's going to be probably another 10 to 12 days before I have some more funds to play with for my speculative portfolio, but I'm going to be getting into Churchill. I'm going to buy a reasonable position in that proportionally to what I have to spend. Probably get maybe 25-30% of the free funds available into Churchill, as I certainly think this year should be pretty good for them. As I said, that portfolio is there simply just to beat the market, and I think this year it can probably do it. There's loads of hype over this, and as soon as there's confirmation of it happening and it comes out and it's public and it's announced by the companies, stock price should absolutely rocket, and I should get back my minimum 12% as an absolute minimum. And I should be looking far more. And I mean, if you look at Bio Nano, has gone up 225%. I'm looking for more than 12. I want to beat the markets. So I really think this one will be going far more than that once they've announced the merge. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked the information there. Some of that information might have been new to you. It might not have been new to you. But if it was new to you and you've learned something in this and it's given you some food for thought, give the video a like. It really helps out, as I said, and subscribe for more content. It will be predominantly, as I said, dividend investing. I'm going to sprinkle some growth and spec stuff in there as well. Now that I've got that growth high risk portfolio, I'm going to be sprinkling a few bits of growth in there, doing a bit of homework, having a look into it for a few guys, just to give you the information that I've found. As always, do your own homework anyway. I'm not suggesting you should buy into it yourself. Do your own homework. It's just what I'm going to be doing. But as I said, I should be able to get a few more videos like that out, along with the dividend investing videos and portfolio reviews and bits and pieces like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.